When you open Blender for the first time, you'll see the splash screen and the interface. In the splash screen, you'll see an image rendered from something that's from Blender, one of the Blender projects, and I have a link here, and it'll tell you what version you're using. Also, you'll see a quick setup for the first time. Here you could choose the language, your shortcuts. By default, it's the current version of Blender's shortcut. However, you could choose if you're from an older version of Blender, for example, Blender 2.7X, meaning 2.79, 2.78. The shortcuts were completely different than this, so you could choose that. We're going to use the default ones. And you could choose to select with your left or right mouse button. And you could choose what the spacebar does, play, tools, or search. We'll keep it at default. And you could choose the theme. By default, a lot of editing package or 3D packages are now using a dark theme because it's easier on the eyes, especially if you're staring at the software for many hours a day. The original Blender, Blender 2.7 versions were in like a Blender Lite or a lighter version, one of these. So you could choose different ones. It doesn't really matter. It's mainly for the visual. I'll keep it at Blender Dark. If you have older version of Blender, you could choose to load the older version settings and we'll import it. Once you're done, you can choose Save New Settings. Once you click on it, the default splash screen will change every time you open Blender, and it'll be different. So you'll see you could open a new file, create a new file, and these are the type of layout you could choose. The layout really is a specific interface that helps streamline certain workflows. If you're doing 2D animation or sculpting, VFX or video editing or others. Right now we're choosing general in most cases. And that does it. You see like tabs up here, which we'll talk about later. And this doesn't really change the functionality. It's more streamlined. You could always change it yourself. General, if you're first starting out, just choose general. And they have other useful links in the getting started, like the manual. You could go a click to the website, credits, and other things. And if you have files that you've opened or worked on, you'll start seeing versions of it that come up here. So the settings that you've done before, you can still access them later on. To close this splash screen, you can click anywhere in the interface that's not the splash screen, or even on the splash screen itself, apparently, and it'll go away. To get it back, right next to the file, there is the Blender icon. There's a splash screen here. You can see the splash screen again. And also the change of options that you've chosen. If you want to change them later, you can go to File, and there should be preferences, actually edit preferences. And in here, you could change some of the settings. For example, if you want the splash screen to show up every time.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.